You want to give a quick statement on the win?
Yeah, I'm going to try to be brief because I'm freezing right now. I want to get out of here. It's a great collective effort. It's a great win. Just the energy that was in the building. Again, I told these guys before the game, these are some of the games that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. I remember when I was here in homecoming games and how exciting that was, but then at the same time, I just wanted them to just have a little bit of poise and not get, too sped up in a game like this. And I thought that they completely dismissed that message because they came out firing. And for a second, offensively, we stringed together a couple really, really good possessions. Our first half defense was not who we are. I think Jared Billups only played 3 minutes, so that's not a surprise. But we were able to string together a better second half. When we guard and we're making shots, we're a tough team to beat, and I'm just really, really happy with our effort tonight. And getting 10 wins in league play, in early February is a testament to these guys. These guys have been phenomenal, coachable, and just happy with the win tonight.
Questions for the student athletes first?
Darius, were you guys offensively maybe a little more in tune than normal tonight, and how much of that was just kind of trying to put what Wednesday was like a little bit in the past?
I feel like obviously it might look like that just because more shots were going in, but me along with the rest of our guys, in practice we come early, we stay late, we get up shots. Really the same routine, but it's really good seeing, obviously shots fall and different guys hit.
Who ultimately was able to get him with the water in the locker?
Who was it?
It was a little bit of everybody. Yeah, he had to come. It's his birthday, good dub, I'm gonna come in. No brainer.
Justin, we've seen you grow throughout the season, and obviously you are earning the trust of your coach. Just what has it been like having a coach who has been accomplished at your position, coaching and walking you through some of the growing pains?
It's just listening, staying disciplined, and coming in late, you know what I'm saying, and just listening to coach and what he's saying and trusting him, and it'll take me far.
And what's it like having a team with this much depth? I think it works for not only the players, but just the team as a whole, knowing that at any time your number can be called and you're ready for that task.
I think it's really good. We have a lot of guys with a lot of experience, and they teach the young guys like myself every day in practice.
Question over here for you, Justin. You really come into your own, especially in the latter half of the season, and there's still a bunch of basketball left to be played. How do you feel as the season has progressed, and how do you feel about your increasing role, especially with a game like today? How does your confidence increase?
Obviously excited, but it's a team effort. All the guys were involved today, defensively, offensively, and that's what we teach every day in practice. So.
And just for both you and Darius, how does a win like this? I know Coach Skinn just talked about this is going to be a game that you may remember, for the rest of your career, your life. How does a win like this feel, and how do you sort of compartmentalize the success from the season and today, and not let it affect the season moving forward?
For me, obviously it feels great, especially to be this high in the conference with only one loss. But at the end of the day, especially me being a fifth-year guy, understanding we still got a lot of ball games to play, and tables can turn, they do turn at times. So really just taking it day by day.
Darius, one of your best shooting performances of the season so far. What was driving your confidence today?
Like I said earlier, it's just sticking to my routine. Sometimes shots fall, sometimes they don't, but just trying to find a good balance mentally to just be confident to shoot the next one.
Anything else for the student athletes?
For you, Darius, so how do you feel going into this game? It's your last homecoming. I know emotions were high, alumni is watching, and same with Tony. The homecoming games are always special here, so what was your mindset going for that?
Honestly, for me, the simpler I keep things, the better it is for me. Skinn could probably attest to that a lot. But it's great just being in environments like that. Even any player really likes environments where it's loud, it's rowdy, and we're at home too, so it was a lot of fun.
Justin, what do you, besides obviously getting Jared back on the floor a little bit more, what do you think kind of keyed that defense in the second half, and was that kind of the one thing that was prioritized at the break?
Probably the halftime talk, coming in to halftime, might get chewed out just a little bit, but coming back out for the second half, we locked in, ready to win.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Tony, you mentioned that you come out firing and all that. Like, could you see this type of performance coming over the last couple of days?
Yeah, absolutely. I saw it coming. Just watching them, who they are. They don't press you. They're not junking it up defensively. We've had GW. I'm getting old because I'm now forgetting who we played previously. Our last 3 games, we've been getting pressed, and it's made it really, really hard to run offense. And I thought today was going to be that first chance we had to just smoothly run some offense. It's not a surprise we had. I want to say this might have been a season low in turnovers, 8 turnovers and 12 assists. But I knew just from a excitement standpoint, we had a really, really good practice yesterday. It's probably our best practice. We had a pretty good shoot around this morning. The vibes were right, and so I knew that our energy level was going to be there. I knew our intensity level was going to be there, and every time you get a chance to see the ball go in, like 1 or 2 times really, really early, it dictates the game for you offensively, and I thought that carried us through tonight.
The impact that Justin's making right now, I mean, a freshman's kind of supposed to maybe improve over the course of the years. This is sort of what things are supposed to be like, but in practice, how much of a boost is it for him to kind of be emerging in the way that he has here over the last week or 2?
Yeah, I mean, what you guys are seeing from Justin Begg is something that I saw when I recruited him. It's something that I've seen the whole season, even though he hasn't necessarily played as much minutes as he's been playing lately. It's just one of those things where as a freshman, you've got to be able to go through some of the turbulence. When you have the type of coachability that he has, eventually tables turn and you start leaning towards your freshman. But again, the luxury of having the type of depth that we have, certain games are going to present different problems. And then from an offensive standpoint, I think he's probably our best natural playmaker. And he's learning defensively to give us kind of what we need. It's hard for us to be on the floor from an offensive standpoint. I would love to have Justin Begg out there, but I also need, Zach, Woody, Jared, KD. Those guys dictate who we are. And you've got to be able to trade that off in different moments of the game. I thought he gave us a great lift in the first half. And again, we're just such a deep team. Sometimes it's not going to be someone else's night. This guy might play 18 today. He might play 24 tomorrow. But having the willingness that they have to be committed to that, it's been a major part of our success.
You mentioned depth, quite a few times. Just how does that help you going down the stretch of not wearing down? And this team you talk about, sometimes it's someone else's night. Everyone seems to be used to now stepping into a role when it is their night, when it's not their night. How does that carry you into the back half of this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's everything. Again, we've been fortunate. You look at a lot of really good teams in this league, and there's probably some teams in this league that should have an extra win or 2 in the standings, but injuries are a real thing. Staying healthy, and so when you have the luxury of having, when you look at it, our starting 5 starts, and then I put 3 or 4 guys in there. There's not a drop off. That's the one thing and the one luxury I do think we have in this league, where once you get beyond 6, 7 guys, it changes the dynamic of your team. For George Mason, I'm able to play 10 guys, 10 guys that aren't necessarily getting in their feelings. That's a real thing in college basketball. They're committed to it, and I'll continue to harp on it. We've got 5 seniors that understand this is their last go-round, and that type of buy-in is a major, major, major piece of what the success we're having.
Do you think at times, like there's a couple times today off of action, Zach came wide open and he passed the shot up. Do you think that at times he's passing shots up that you would like to see him take?
Honestly, it's a gift and a curse. Zach Anderson is a sniper, but Zach Anderson also starts for us maybe necessarily when I don't necessarily have to start him. Maybe Jared Billis should be starting. Maybe Justin Begg could get a start. Maybe Katie Johnson can get a start. The one thing that I value in Zach Anderson is he just plays the game the right way. And sometimes those shots that we see as coaches, as fans, it's not as open as you think. And he does a really, really good job of turning down, a good shot and maybe trying to find a great shot. I would love for him to continue to be a little bit more assertive, a little bit more shot ready. But he's had some games when he's done that. But he's playing the game the right way, and it just makes things a little bit smoother for us offensively.
If there's one thing you would like to see turn around going into this last stretch of games, what would it be?
Wow. I'm greedy, man, so Honestly, I think if we continue to take care of the basketball, it cleans up everything for us offensively. I mean, we've got a mismatch nightmare in Jalen Haynes. We've got one of the better shooters, if not the best shooter in our league with Darius Maddox. We've got 3 playmakers in KD, Johnson and Braden O'Connor, and now Justin Begg that can make plays for you. They can play together. They can play off the ball, on the ball. I think if we can just figure out a way to just be a little bit more poised with our decision making, I tell these guys all the time, singles. You go for 3 singles and it works. I'll let you go for the home run. Problem is they try to do that math the other way around. And if we can just take care of the basketball, we're going to be in games defensively. That's just who we are. It's not a secret anymore what we do defensively. But if we're able to clean it up offensively and just have some better nights, I'll be a little bit less stressed during the game.
Coach, how much easier does it make your job and everyone else's job when Darius has the night he has like he did today?
Yes, it's funny. I was talking to Bill Rowland about that before the game. You know it's coming because of the type of shooter he is. And Jalen Haynes is going to continue to have, I thought he was going to have a really good night tonight because, again, this is one of the games where I didn't think they were going to double. They were going to play him straight up. No one can guard Jalen Haynes. I say that with full confidence. He's as skilled of a big as I've ever coached. He can make plays for you. Obviously, inside, we know what type of load he is. And so I just thought that tonight, if I could get him to play well, if I can get Darius to play well, and then just, kind of just spin the wheel and one more person playing well offensively for us, it would be a game that I thought we could win by, 4 or 5 possessions or more. But again, that tandem of Darius and Jalen, combining for 40 points on most nights with the way we guard, you can have a pretty good chance to win at home.
And speaking of Jalen, in the making those second half adjustments, not only the defensive end, but was there also an effort to get him more touches in the second half and maybe slow it down on our end offensively to make it a little harder for them to run out deep?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you see Jalen and Gio in the game, I wanted to go at David Green and just put Jalen at the 4, and I just thought we needed to make sure we played through the paint. It was a 6-point game coming out of halftime. I thought that, again, Jalen Haynes is, and I'll say it publicly, he's 6'8", 6'9", 260, 70 pounds. He's big, physical. Sometimes when he gets punched, it doesn't look like he's getting punched. And then the other guys get punched the same way, and it's a whistle. And I've got to continue to try to protect Jalen Haynes. And the only way I can do that is to throw the ball inside to him. I think he's the best big in our league, and that's not going to change. But that was the game plan, to try to play through the paint and kind of get him going. He couldn't really find his rhythm in the first half. He was in some foul trouble. And, he saved the day at GW and, pretty much did what he needed to do in the second half in this game.
And how good of a birthday present is this for you today?
Oh, it's phenomenal. I'm not a big, obviously my birthday is in February, smack dab in the middle of basketball season. So I don't really celebrate birthdays. The only thing I wanted was this win. And, these guys definitely represented and, went out there and took care of business. So I'm happy for it.
Coach, first off, happy birthday. And second of all, you guys made 8 threes in the first half. And I just wanted to know, in terms of, making threes and just making your shots in general, how much of it is luck of the draw compared to knowing you're going to have a good night and kind of navigating, your shooting night on a nightly basis?
I mean, I think there's no secret sauce to when guys are making shots. I think guys like Darius Maddox, when it's all said and done, you just got to trust the numbers. He might go 1 for 6 today, but he'll go 4 for 6 tomorrow. That's 5 for 12. That's pretty damn good. He's been doing this thing for half a decade now. Again, let's not forget who Darius Maddox was before he came to George Mason. He was ACC tournament MVP at Virginia Tech and took them to the tournament. And when he's making shots, when a guy like Justin Begg, who can really shoot the basketball, is shooting the right shots, again, it's a guy that was a freshman that was shooting 8% to start the year. Those percentages were incorrect, but that's an 18-year-old just trying to find his way with something that he does really well. And when you start connecting that together, I expect us to have better shooting nights. And again, these guys prep so much. They're the most coachable group I've had in a long time, just because I don't have to ask them to come get shots out. I have to ask them to come meet the coaches. They're in here voluntarily, and I'm just happy for those guys. And anytime you're able to put up 82 points and play a little defense, I'll take it.
Could you talk about what Gio and Jalen on the floor at the same time bring to your team and your lineup?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you said that, because sometimes when you're with these guys every day, like, you almost forget how big they are. I was strategic in the off season, wanting to just be bigger, a little bit more size, a little bit more girth. And with Jalen, you can 5'4" Jalen. Obviously, Gio's, as big as they come in the league. And like I said, I forget sometimes. And you talk to friends in the business, and they say, "Man, I really like your team, man. You guys are a high major team." And then it's like, okay, got to make sure I play these guys a little bit more. But again, every game is going to be different, just strategically and schematically. And I think it's safe to say, you know how this goes with bigs, especially your fives. They always get in foul trouble, and so either or, they're going to play together. They're going to play some good minutes.
You said on a night-to-night basis, you're kind of trying to figure out what the scheme is, but is that duo of Gio and Jalen something that you consistently look back to and you kind of want to implement into, just the overall strategy for your team the rest of the year?
Yeah, that's just, that's scout based. That's, game to game. You can do that maybe against Rhode Island, maybe not so much against the Davidson or Richmond. I would love to play those guys. I'll play in spurts, in doses, but again, that's just a game-to-game decision based on the scout.
We're good. Thanks, Tony.
Appreciate it.
All good?
Yeah.
Appreciate it.